Oh man, I'm gonna make some people mad today with this video, but hear me out to the end of this because it's not ripping on one brand. I just want you to think about this. Do I have my Bronco behind me? I do. Do I still have a Ram? I do. Are the Ram trucks the Harbor Freight of pickup trucks available for 2025? Or have they always been? Let's do this. All right, before I get blasted with negativity, what do I mean by our Ram trucks the Harbor Freight of trucks? Here's my theory on Ram's marketing strategy, and it always has been, and I think it's successful. People like myself, I'm a hands-on type of person. I'll build a deck on my house, I'll do plumbing stuff, I'll work on my vehicles because I have the ability to do it, but also saves me some money. There's a lot of my followers are the same way. Would I love to have Snap-on tools and the most premium DeWalt Bosch tools in the garage? For sure, but it costs 3-4 times more money, and I find a lot of times the tool I can go get at Harbor Freight is 90% as good as what I need, and it works great. And in fact, that strategy Harbor Freight has used in the last 5-10 years has made them class leading in some ways. Let me give you some examples. Predator generators. Their inverter generators have been incredible, and they've stolen so much market share from a premium brand like Honda inverter generators, so much so that everyone looks at the Predator now. Their inverter generators is almost a benchmark. All the stuff for sale on Amazon, they copy off the Predator design. What about the Earthquake products? I look at the Earthquake XT, some of their impact wrenches and some of their air tools and some of their stuff, they're incredible. Arguably some of the best impact cordless and air pneumatic tools in the market. But there are some products at Harbor Freight that's like one-time use, or maybe it won't even make it through a full-time use. But there's a value in marketing your products like that, and this is where I think Ram has hit a home run for a long time. But something's changed in the last few years, and what has that been? As an example, this Ram behind me, pretty sweet truck, right? And I'm also a big fan. I have a Ram 1500 RHO. Why did I take my hard-earned money and buy a Ram RHO? I think for the money, it's the best value. Does it have its quirks? Is it perfect? No. But every single brand out right now has its issues. Okay, so this truck right here, $72,000. Okay, it's a ton of money. This is a crew cab loaded out, okay? I don't know the price at this dealership, but I can tell you other dealerships, a truck like this with a $72,000 MSRP, you could probably get this for 55 grand right now. And I'll show you some different clips of different 1500s and pricing at 15 to 20,000 under MSRP. What happened? Why did Ram lose so much market share in the last few years? Is it because of this right here? A lot of channels and a lot of people are gonna tell you it's because it's the Hurricane engine. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not the Hurricane engine.
I'm gonna actually dive in and look at 3 different trim levels. And this, I think, tells a story about why Ram has had some changes in the market in the past few years. Let's first start with the bighorn pricing. We started at 2019. You could see starting MSRP, engine pricing, destination. You could see everything across the board went up. MSRP was going up. Engine pricing went up, went back and forth, but you kind of see, look how much the Hemi was as an option back in 2023 and 2024. So that's really not much different than the Hurricane in 2025. Destination charge is similar, but you can see the pricing in MSRP was a pretty decent little bump right here. But check this out. In 2023, we saw a 10% change in price in one calendar year. Prior to that, it was 3%, down 0.4%, up 3%, but this was a monster. And this is what we started seeing, a loss in market share. But here's something to consider. When the prices went up in 2026, and this is important to look at, from 2025 to 2026 model year, there's a 1.6% price increase. Is it more money? Yes. Inflation is about what, 4%, they say? So this is half of the rate of inflation, and you can kind of see some of the breakdown here. Now let's go to the next level, the Laramie. 2019 to 2020, price went up 5%. Then 3.9, then 2.2, 12.2% increase in 2023 model year. That was huge. 2024 was 3.7, and then we had another big hit, 6.3% in 2025. with a big retraction, 2026 model year. You can kind of compare some of this, but look at the price of the engine. $29.95, $22.95, $2,000, $26.40. So the pricing for the engine option wasn't much different as far as back from 2021 to 2026. But you can see a big difference in MSRP along this time period. But then you can see some of the changes. So some of these changes are actually pretty nice. Now let's go to the limited. This is the highest version at the time. So we didn't include all. I just want to kind of show 3 different versions. You see from 56,000 to 75,000. That's a big increase in just a handful of years. But you can see 1.3%, 6.3% year over year, 3.1, 3.1, 2.5, and then check this out, 10% price increase in 2025. Now we go to 2026, it's basically flat. So why is this important? Well, luckily there's dealerships out there that are offering big discounts because the MSRPs have went up, but you can kind of still see the prices are still pretty aggressive on some of these trucks. Like here's a nice tradesman, $7,000 off. Check this out. You can get a Ram 1500 tradesman for $35,000. This really shows a picture here of volume. So this shows year over year change, US market share, and market share change. Check this out. Let's start in 2019. This was when the Ram was refreshed, 17.69%. And then the year after, it dropped 11%. Then the next year, it recovered 3%. But then ever since 2021, it started dropping, 545, and then 439. But I mean, how wild is this? In 2024, what happened from 23 to 24? Pickup Truck Plus Talk. He broke down some of the second quarter results for pickup trucks. Look at the numbers here. This is just the data. It kind of is what it is. Ford's up a lot this year, quarterly, 11.5%. Silverado's up a little. Light duty you can see is down, but their heavy duty is up. Ram Truck, as a brand, is up 6%. Light duty is up 16.8%. Heavy duty is down. I think a lot of this is probably due to some of the stuff going on between U.S. and Mexico. They had to kind of slow down some production because of, I think some of the tariff stuff might have been impacting some of the sales, but I'm sure we'll see this come back up. But generally speaking, the market is up right now, and you can kind of see this. This is the one that shocked me. Look how much Toyota was down, though.
Wow, this is actually the first 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorn I've seen, and they're now calling this the Hurricane and not the SST on the side of the badging. That's interesting. So it must be because now they got the Hemi, they want to make it where it's less confusing. So this is a Bighorn, $63,000, pretty loaded out, bed utility group, spray and bed liner, nice 20-inch wheels, dual exhaust. But these are trucks you can literally get for $10,000, $15,000 off MSRP. All right, let's check out some GMCs now. You can get a V8 here in this elevation. This has been a package I'm a big fan of. Talk about a Harbor Freight version in a GMC. This is it, man, high value. Look at the bed liner, nice looking setup, nice looking wheels. How much is this thing? $66,000. And we got a cloth interior. But what about this? Here's the Turbo Max, 2.7 liter 4-cylinder turbo. Can you believe they put a 4-cylinder turbo in a 1500 cloth interior? $57,000. No spray and bed liner. Still a nice looking truck. And to be fair, I'm a big fan of the Turbo Max. I think for the money, I think it's a great little engine. But $57,000, $66,000 half-ton pickup trucks, and there's not big discounts on these things right now versus the Ram 1500. But let's check out top dog for the GMC for 25. Ultimate 6.2 Denali. Really beautiful truck, done up. Super sweet interior. Take a guess, guys. $87,000 for a 1500. Nice truck. What would Ram have to compete with this? Here's what I mean. I'm at a Ford dealership, by the way. And if you think, hey, I'm just picking on Ford, I drive 2 Fords we have in our driveway right now. But I just want to show you for perspective, 37 package Ford F-150 Raptor for 2025. Sweet looking truck. Dual live valve, Fox suspension, amazing. But take a guess, how much do you think a truck like this would go for? And they got a red one right next to it. Beautiful trucks. Love them both. $95,500. Okay, $95,000. Yeah, you got 37-inch tires. Really sweet looking. But at best right now, at the time of doing this video, you might get this thing for $3,000 to $5,000 off. And let's look at the interior. Dude, this thing's sweet. Real nice interior, soft touch, auto up, got a little carbon fiber. Seats in this thing look really nice. The Recaro's got great bolstering, nice material, real nice interior. But you know what's missing? Hands-free driving. You know what else is missing? Massaging seats. It's a beautiful truck, but it's still not as premium as the Ram. Let's just take more of a run-of-the-mill truck. Here's just a standard F-150. Actually, this is a Lariat. This is a pretty nice truck with a power boost. It's got the upgraded front end. I can already tell it's got the better dash, so I'm guessing, before I even see the window sticker, 502A. And I'm right, 502A, $73,885. So $73,885. Got the power boost, nice truck. Best case of doing the time of this video, you might get $6,000 to $8,000 off this, max. But here's an XLT. This is a really nice truck. This is also a power boost. And another thing I'm noticing, they're pushing power boost hard right now. It's like everywhere. Every one of these trucks are power boost. XLT, cloth interior. $67,000 for a cloth interior truck. What do we have here? Another power boost. Every single one of these trucks are power boost. It's hard to find one without a power boost. That is really interesting. Just trying to see this. I'm yet to see one that's not a power boost. Power boost. Huh, man, Ford is pushing this. By the way, here's what the new secure access code looks like. Curious your thoughts on that. So this is just wild. I've literally looked at every single one of these trucks, and I'd say 90+% of these are power boost, both sides of the aisle. And the ones that are not power boost have a missing window sticker, which is kind of interesting, right? You'd have to ask yourself, do you really want the hybrid? If you drive a lot of city or slow rural driving, it'll pay you back in fuel economy. But for someone like myself, it won't sadly help out at highway driving. I've not found any improvement in fuel economy, but it is fast, does have good power, and it is cool. It's got the built-in generator. So the point of this video is not to bag on GM, Ford, Toyota, or even Ram at this point. It's about different marketing approaches. And what's made Ram successful in the past 10, 15, 20 years was the Hemi V8, right? That was pretty successful. And then what did they do really good about 10 years ago? They put in the ZF 8-speed transmission, best in class. Started addressing rust issues. Started addressing putting a nicer interior. In fact, in 2019, and still to this day, I'll say it's the best interior truck out there. They are just comfortable, fit and finish is nice, but then you put all this in a package that looks nice with a great price. But in 2023, 24, post-COVID, prices went through the roof. Got a little cocky, thought their pricing and all that was gonna outpace the market perception of the brand, and that's when we started to see the fall off of the brand. So I don't actually think it's tied to the Hurricane fully. I do think there is a portion of people that say, hey, I would never own a 1500 series pickup truck without a V8. I get it. This is why they're bringing it back, and I'm glad they're bringing it back. But at the same time that they're bringing it back, Ram has been dropping prices through dealerships for like almost 2 years now, and we've seen things kind of pick up. And in case in point, Toyota got rid of the V8. They have the twin turbo 6-cylinder. Their sales actually went up, and they have no plans to bring back the V8. So it's kind of interesting. It's just different brands and what different people want. Ford kept both, General Motors kept both, and I think Ram's kind of kicking themselves that they didn't keep both. But regardless, I'm glad that they're bringing both engine options out, and I still do believe to this day Ram is the Harbor Freight of pickup trucks. And that's not a dig, because I shop at Harbor Freight for most things that I'm going to use. I'm not a full-time mechanic. If I was, I'd probably only have Snap-on in my garage maybe. But for the things I do, I think their stuff works awesome. And generally speaking, I've also found when I go buy those Snap-on products or those most premium, most expensive trucks and classes of vehicles, I'm disappointed most of the time. The most expensive vehicle I've ever had, and I'm not going to tell you what brand it is because it's not a dig on it, was a disappointment to me. I didn't have it very long. And I was very frustrated with the most expensive vehicle I ever owned. And then I get my RHO. I go into it with the right mindset. This truck is 20 grand less than a Ford Raptor, and it's been phenomenal. It's been an awesome truck, and I would recommend it again. And I still think when you start looking at the performance, the fuel economy, the technology, and everything, it's the best value truck at the time of doing this video. And it's gonna be great, even if you're not a Ram guy and you're like, dude, I can't stand Ram trucks, I'd never buy one. Totally get it. But be thankful for Ram, because they're pushing guys like these guys and Ford to make a better value for even you guys. So this is the fun part about competition. It makes everybody's life better. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just curious, leave your comments down below. Do you see it like that? And it's 2026 ordering now. Would you feel comfortable? Would you buy a Ram with a 100,000 mile warranty? Would you jump to a different brand? Or would you, the thing that's interesting to me is when I look at General Motors specifically, they've got a really interesting mix of warranty. You want a V8 like this back here, it's only a 60,000 mile warranty. But you want that 4-cylinder turbo in white back there, it's got a 100,000 mile warranty. So I'd be curious to get your guys' perspective. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you liked the video, feel free to give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.